Mum and Dad were both very keen gardeners. Dad liked traditional gardens, lots of roses and things like that. Mum in the 70s, I think a lot of people got into native plants in the 70s, and Mum was part of that. She loved native plants. She joined native plant groups and got interested in native plants. So she converted a fair part of our garden into a native garden. That influenced me a lot, and yeah, it's sort of never left. I sort of really like the shapes and textures of native plants. I love the fact that they're really robust and can handle lots of different conditions, but they've got very delicate flowers, and they're a lot of them are very unusual and sort of almost prehistoric looking in their leaf forms and stuff. That really interests me, and especially up here in Katoomba, you do see wonderful, wonderful plants just when you go walking. They're just a wonder to me. So it sort of enriches my life. It sort of creeps into my work, and sometimes intentionally, but most times not intentionally. I find myself making leaf shapes or petal shapes, and I mean, I don't design that, it just happens. So it's there in my mind. It's something that I look at in the garden every day, and yeah, it definitely affects my work. Just the feeling of being in nature, I think, affects my work profoundly. I guess I got interested in painting. I worked for a while when I left school. I worked at the airport, and then I decided that it really wasn't for me, and I wanted to pursue my drawing, which I'd been doing on my own for a long time. And then that led to an interest in painting, wanting to learn more about painting, and went to East Sydney Tech, which is the National Arts School now. It was a good start. It was a good grounding. I had some good teachers. I had an interest in Giacometti, which was quite obsessive. It was something to do with the way he drew that got me into doing very sort of gestural, spindly marks. I began using, I remember seeing some paintings, some figure paintings, where he had sort of almost like a scaffold of marks around the figures. And that affected me profoundly, and I really wanted to recreate that idea of a sort of a scaffold, not a scaffold, but sort of creating a structure with these lines. And that caused a dramatic shift in the way I was working. I think even before that I was doing a bit of figure painting and things like that, and I hadn't found a way to fully express myself. I was still in the learning phase. And I think that was the start. I think that was a light bulb, and that was the beginning of me working very seriously with line as a way to express myself. Yeah. Not so much colour, just the line. The colour's becoming more important as I get older. I don't know why. It just is. I'm becoming more interested in colour. But it never used to interest me that much. It was more about finding some sort of form within these lines, or getting rid of a form within the lines. It was always this push-pull thing. So I'll know that I want to make a mark that's warm or cold maybe, or something like that. And I want to do a really energetic mark. So I'll get everything ready and I'll load up the brush or whatever, and then maybe a split second before I do it, I'll think, I want it to do that. I want it to go there. But it's never anything that I want to overthink, because then I think I lose it. And I think that's the hardest part, is it's almost like you're working without a net. You've got no backup drawings. There's every chance that it may not work. But I think that chance is what keeps it alive. It's what keeps that energy, is the not knowing where it's going to go,